How we present ourselves visually makes an important statement about who we are and can make or break a career. So we want to share with you a few things to consider about your visual presence. Valerie, let's start with what we wear.
Look at what we're wearing.
Yeah, look at what we're wearing.
Well, you know, I thought, and I'm sure you did too, for this segment, what would be expected and respected on the topic we're talking about? We're talking about clothing, we're talking about presence, right? And so you're a little fun and I'm a little trendy. Why not, right?
Absolutely.
If we were both in staid, buttoned up suits, I don't think it would come across as well. So the first thing is, no matter what part of a career you're in or what level, stop at the beginning of the day and say, what am I doing today? What's my position in this company? Who am I interacting with? And what's expected and respected for this day for these people? That's one really major tip, instead of just grabbing something from the closet in the morning.
It's certainly the beginning point,
Right.
stopping to think that we need to think about it.
Helps.
And yeah, once we've stopped and given some thought, we can look at that closet a long time. It's going to be a business casual day, so I have these jeans that look pretty darn casual to me. And I am going to do business, but what do I do with all that?
You know, the other thing is, what does the company want you to wear? Some companies are very, very strict, and for instance, jeans are never acceptable. Other companies say, okay, jeans are acceptable, but now what I would say is, if you're wearing jeans on a, let's say, casual Friday, be sure that they are dark jeans, that they're pressed, that you've got a great jacket or shirt with it, depending on what you're doing. So don't just throw on a faded pair of jeans. Everything we do, from the tip of our head to the bottom of our shoe, in what we wear, gives a message. So if a woman, let's say, came in the office one day in a buttoned-up suit, but with high, strappy sandals, it would kind of be a mismatch, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
It wouldn't go together.
Certainly.
The shoes would say evening and the outfit would say business. And so just think about, from our hairstyle, when was the last time, I would ask the audience, you had a new hairdo? Are you still back in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, right?
Right.
What about your makeup for a woman? And for a man, it's just as important to have a well-groomed haircut, for example. If you're wearing facial hair as a man, is it trimmed, and is it neat, or is it a little bushy? Your jewelry, is it too much or just enough? Is it appropriate? Down to the shoes. You don't want the high heels. They're beautiful, and I love seeing these young girls in the high heels. But really and truly, depending on the role, should they be that high? Maybe not.
Right.
You have to judge.
You really do have to judge. And I want to go back to the jeans example.
Okay.
And casual days, casual Friday or business casual. I think that is maybe a point of greatest confusion in organizations or in the workplace. What I was thinking when you were speaking was, in so many organizations, people keep falling to the lowest level
Denominator.
possible, because as casual Fridays came about,
Right.
people wore jeans, and then they wore sloppier jeans, and finally it's tennis shoes and faded jeans, and maybe tennis shoes, faded jeans, a t-shirt, and cap. And if I'm walking in every day with my pressed jeans and my nice shirt and my professional look on a casual day, even though I'm wearing jeans, but everyone else is dressed differently, there's a temptation to fall down to that level and feel that it's okay. But it does affect how you are looked upon, doesn't it?
It does. It's that old statement of dress for where you want to be, not for where you are. And as an example, if you're the manager, dress up a little bit. Maybe not jeans on casual day. Maybe a great khaki and a wonderful loafer shoe. But just that little differentiator of a khaki rather than a jean gives a subtle message too, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and I always like the statement, dress for the position you want to attain.
Right.
So if I'm seeing that my manager is dressing a little bit better, then maybe I should dress more like that manager. Or maybe if that manager has also fallen to the lowest common denominator,
Can't always judge.
I might still want to say, how could I present myself just a tad above the rest?
That's true.
And it's not so much that you certainly don't want to walk in any kind of formal business attire when everyone else is wearing jeans, though.
No.
But you do need to pay attention to, well, how do I want people to perceive me? And it doesn't matter that it's okay to wear that. It's not helping my career if I wear that particular outfit.
That's true.
And going back to the high heels, and men have their own version of this too. We can overdress. And what happens in a situation where we're really trying to dress the very, very best in a business situation? And I'm not saying wear the best jacket or the best slacks. I'm thinking really dress up and look spiffy in a business environment.
Why wouldn't we? I mean, why wouldn't we present ourselves with the very best brand that we have? Our presence, how we walk in the room, what we wear says so much about who we are. What is our brand? And be consistent with that. As an example, a young woman came up to me after a seminar and she said, well, I like to be kind of cutesy. And I said, okay. And she said, but you know, I know the company really doesn't like that, but I need to be myself. And I said, well, let me ask you a question. When you were in college, were you on any sports teams or even in high school? Oh, yes, I liked sports. I played basketball. I said, well, what did you wear? She looked at me and smiled. She said, a uniform. I said, well, why couldn't you have just worn what you wanted to wear, even though everyone else? And she said, okay, I get it.
You know, I have to make a confession. Many, many years ago, I was in an organization where I liked to look cute. And I wore some really nice outfits. And they didn't necessarily they weren't inappropriate in some ways, in some contexts. But for business, they were different. And I still wore them because I thought these are not inappropriate. I like this better than I like the black or blue suit and at that time the white silk shirt and the little bow tie. I just thought that looked so disgusting that I was not going to wear it.
No.
Well, I was selected for executive image school. My company paid over $1,000 to send me off for a week to teach me how to dress. I showed up at executive image school and I thought, well, I'll show them I know how to dress. So I took my dark suits and my light blouses. And at the end of this course, the guys are saying, well, we really don't know what you need to improve. You seem to be doing everything just right. And I went back to my organization and I put back on my cutesy little clothes. It took me quite a while to figure that one out. Gratefully, someone finally got through to me and I gave up the cutesy clothes. But I think people can, I share that only because I think I'm not the only one who's gotten trapped in that situation where we think that we know best.
Well, let me be very, very clear too on that. I want you to be who you are. I want you to be the best of who you are, though.
But appropriate to your setting and your environment.
But appropriate to your role, to your setting, and to the customer. Absolutely.
You know, we talked a lot about clothes. Let's briefly talk a little bit about our visual presence. Really is about more than clothes. It's about our attitude. It's about our body language. Tell us a little bit about, just what are some tips about body language and our attitude that will help us?
Well, I'll go to the word presence again, which is everything about how you walk in a room, good posture, or are you slumping? So much of the message that you give to the public, to someone watching you, has to do with just your body language, as you said, standing up tall and straight, walking in the room with steps, not sloughing along. You don't have to grin all the time, but having a pleasant expression. If you walk down the halls with a scowl, who's going to talk to you? What does that say about your brand? It says, I'm standoffish, don't talk to me. And it's those little things that sometimes people really don't know. As an example, as an executive coach, I was working with a man who, lots of other things we were working on, but this one thing I was told was an issue for him because he was a manager and nobody wanted to approach him. They were scared to death. He said, I don't know why. And I said, well, look in the mirror. I mean, he was so serious and a very analytical thinking person, and he just didn't have any expression. And so that was a major awareness of him, and he began recognizing, okay, I can feel it when I smile once in a while. It made all the difference in the world.
Yeah, and I'm guessing it made a significant difference for how he was received
It
by
did,
others.
it did.
Our clothes, our body language, our attitude, and even our habits frequently speak louder than our voices. Make sure yours are always delivering the message you intend. Thank you for taking 10 for your professional development.